Hi, Brian Whiten's filling in for Buck. Tonight, something a bit different. It's time to get out of town. Join me for a trip across the border into Ontario for a visit to a lodge that has it all on this special road trip edition of Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
We all love hunting and fishing trips to places where the fish are big and the game is plentiful. At the same time, not too many of us would turn down a trip to somewhere tropical. The Caribbean, maybe. If only you could take the Caribbean with its warm, sandy beaches and crystal clear waters and drop it smack dab in the middle of a hunting and fishing paradise. Well, such a place does exist. Sandy beaches, crystal clear waters, top-notch accommodations, a lakeside lounge, there's even a castle. Top it all off with excellent hunting and fishing for just about every species of fish you could want. This sportsman's paradise has been dubbed the Caribbean of the North and can be found just outside Atikokan, Ontario. The sportsman's paradise is Browns Clearwater West Lodge.
We're found off Highway 622 that leads between the communities of Atikokan and Ignace to the north of us, Highway 17. So we have good access into our facility. We're 3 kilometers off the highway. Our primary lake is 8,900 acres. It's 34 miles of shoreline. Clearwater West itself maxes out at 471 feet. Average depth 90. Clarity is 29 feet. The Psyche disc reading disappears at 29 feet. So it's a deep, clear, cold, oligotrophic lake hosting world record lake trout, whitefish, northern pike, smallmouth bass, and walleyes. The original and only lodge on the lake, and I can draw a huge circle on this map, and we are the only facility here. Clearwater West and White Otter hosts some of the biggest lake trout on average in North America. There's no doubt that we're fishing here for lake trout that'll average 6.5 pounds. We hold the world record lake trout through a hole in the ice at 40 pounds, still registered with Hayward, Wisconsin Fishing Hall of Fame, taken in '87 by a Minnesota man. And we've crowded that on numerous occasions, 38 pounds, 37 pounds, winter and summer. There's records of 55, 54 pound fish caught in the area years back. So, but a strong average of 6.5.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice one. We like this one so much, I'm going to bring this one home.
Newspaper articles that go back to the 60s identify
this is a nice scrappy one.
Fish then at 4.5, 5.5, 6.5 pound fish. So
I can't even lift this one out of the water.
We definitely are holding our own. Most folks that have 30 and 40 years of visitation, some have 50 years of visitation here, they claim that it takes a lot less time today to catch fish than it did in the early going. And of course, knowledge, experience, technology, it all helps enhance our opportunities. But a lot to be said for the fishery. We fish lake trout like many would fish their perch or crappie. They're that prolific, and that aggressive when they're biting. When they're on, they're on. They're like any other fish species. They're very aggressive. And September, of course, they're in a transition period between their deeper oligotrophic water homes and the reefs, where they'll do their spawning late September and through October. They'll do their spawning. The season closing on the 30th of September in this region. We're able to catch them in shallow waters around the reefs. That's a lot of fun with light tackle.
Such a nice little fish. And gone just like that.
Certain waters will have, they all have your walleye and northern, but in addition, we'll take Eric and Bernadine Flying Outpost. They've got your smallmouth bass.
That's what we're looking for. Oh, is he heavy? Big bass.
I had a gentleman tell me this morning a 20-inch smallmouth. We've caught them 21 inches. We suspect in the 6.5 pound class.
There we go. Now there's a heavy fish.
During this month, I might add, during this month of September. I mean, it's so overlooked, unequaled, really.
Caught this fella in about 28 feet of water.
And there's a lot of great fishing.
Down there roaming for friends. Not wanting to come in very easily. There's a nice bass. Another nice bass to the collection. Another nice little bass. Oh, maybe it is as big. Look at that. Why you gotta like these big bass? So much fun.
That hit hard. An unsung hero, whitefish. Most believe they are the fish and chips. Most believe they're not available to an angler on a sport fish level, but clearly they are. They can be caught right along with your lake trout in the same waters as they're in the same habitat, and they are sporting. And the meat every bit as tasty as walleye. A lot of folks say you can't tell the difference. There's a whitefish.
And there's what your whitefish looks like.
Plentiful, and they're a schooling fish, so you can get into a school of fish and you can fill your limits, of which 10 is the limit on these, all in the morning or an evening when you're fishing them. So they're actually quite an exciting fish to fish for. You can use spoons, large lead heads, the same gear for lake trout. Natural bait if you want to use minnows. They love minnows. We have a diverse number of lakes to draw from. We're able to draw from smaller inland waters. We can back boats and trailers into some along Highway 622. We have waters where you can hook 15, 16-inch walleyes on a regular basis, just under that slot of 18.1.
45 seconds. That's pretty tough.
And then you have waters like Clearwater and White Otter, where if you wish to enjoy a shore lunch walleye,
Well, it's about the same as the first one, I guess. We'll catch its little bigger cousin here right away.
on White Otter, that walleye will traditionally be 22 to 23 inches.
Oh, that's actually not that bad.
We just struggle to find fish under that. they're here. It's a struggle.
Real little. We'll let him go anyhow. He's such a nice little fish. Cooperated quite well with us.
So many folks leave with no fish at all, and they're just as happy to do so because
a wee bit bigger, and we'll be
here walleyes will reach 28, 29, 31 inches. It's their personal bests often.
There's no shortage of lunchers. You can come out here and catch 1,000 of these things.
Most folks that visit here will generally take their personal best walleye on a given day, catch and release. So that brings folks
That's a pike.
here to just try that. So
I wondered when one of these were going to show up feeding on all these little fellas.
it's all available.
Cute little pike. We'll be going to the smoker, but it wasn't so nice. Nice fish. Muscle back. I don't think he's ready yet. No. Get that up though. Oh, there's a heavy fish. Get away, that's for sure. Oh, holy. This is what you don't want to hold here very long. Oh yeah.
I had folks leave from here last Monday from White Otter that caught northern pike. There were 4 of them in the party. They caught northern pike. Each caught fish over 40 inches, 44 inches, 43, 42 and a half.
Oh, he's got spinner and all in his mouth.
Those are big fish. They do that on a regular basis and put all those fish back. Not one fish left the lake, so that's always refreshing. We can radiate from here to all these additional waters. We have equipment on 54 different lakes in this region here. We have road access to several neighboring lakes. For those that may bring their own equipment with them, they can back into a variety of lakes. We have outposts that we can boat into, fly into, and portage into. And from the facilities, of course, we're offering the 3 chalets, individual dwellings out on the lake, prime locations, fully winterized with docks, lifts, gas barbecues, complete in every detail, with a view to die for. All accessible by water, canoe, snow machine, your choice. We have the second facility on Mount, which is 10 miles up the highway here. It's remote access. More remote waters by walking across into a lot of additional waters, again hosting walleyes, northern, lake trout, smallmouth bass. Many of these waters host trophy fish because we do practice releasing big fish. Of course, we can't leave out the brook trout and the splake, which have been stocked in the area. Up the highway here, a small
That's a nice one.
brook trout lake.
Oh, it is too. A nice big red one.
Most fun fish there is.
We crack 8 pounds every year with brookies.
Oh, and did he ever gobble that one?
Come from the Lake Nipigon strain. It's dynamite record type fish.
Crappy little fish. Nice fish. That's a 16, 17 incher right there. Nothing. Got him now. There's what you call fish. Oh.
Splake on a neighboring lake. In addition to our brook trout, we have the splakes.
Yeah. Nice little splake.
And splake have reached 30 inches, so that's pretty special. And those aren't guesses, so we try to weigh and measure it all.
Another nice splake. Working out to be about 4 or 5 minutes in between. And there's a nice little trout.
The 3 trout species available on any day, all from the resort here on Clearwater West.
Yeah, and that's what that looks like with a short time and effort. Now it's time to go see what other kind of fish we can round up.
Big game hunting, small game hunting is all a major part of our operation. The 3 big game species being our moose, deer, and bear. We have an early black bear hunt that takes off in the middle of August. I have nearly 1 million acres under lease with the Ontario government for bear territory. That leads into a grouse hunt on September the 15th, which leads into an archery moose hunt in later September, and then into a rifle hunt. We hunt over nearly 2 million acres for moose. And then from there into the deer hunt in November. Our commercial hunt takes place on private land. We have several thousand acres of property that's owned or leased. The area abounds in game. There's few distractions, there's no airports or power lines. We do host the Caribbean beaches, and there's a number of unpopulated beaches. Bring folks down. They'll pull up on a beach, enjoy a box lunch on a beach, and not share a half mile of beach with anyone. Well, we have 8 complete units at the main facility. We have an annex as well. It's suited for larger family get-togethers, reunions. We put a licensed lounge together to celebrate our 25th anniversary. And since then, we've added on to it, put a pool table, shuffleboard in for our guests, for those that enjoy just being out of the hot sun. It's screened all the way around so they can enjoy the view. We have a listed menu with your matzo sticks and your fries and your fish and chips and chicken wings and what have you. There are actually 70 campsites, 42 of them are on the beach. Folks have even come out and stayed 2 to 3 weeks at a time, because it's just like having your own cabin on a lake without worrying about the insurance or the beavers cutting the trees down on your lawn, or they occupy them the same way as they would their own cottage. So we cater to a wide range of folks and many different wishes and expectations. So we try to accommodate everyone with any needs. By accessing White Otter Lake from here, it's a great twin to this Clearwater West Lake. That one is 2.5 times the size of this one. Pristine. It is a waterway park. It's known as the Turtle River White Otter Waterway Provincial Park. Many, of course, pass through here. They use the services, the carriage system between the 2 lakes. Folks of all ages may cross by just sitting in their boat. Our drivers will do it all for them. Steer right up to the bed. The driver will secure them and launch them on the other side and reverse the process on the return trip home. We offer a pontoon. We can hold 9-10 adults on there and cruise the lake, cruise up to the White Otter Castle, which is a historic site in this area. It's several thousand visitors winter and summer to that location.
On the remote north shore of White Otter Lake stands a castle, a sturdy log house built at the turn of the century by a Scottish immigrant named Jimmy McCoot. The castle stands 3 stories tall, with a tower extending up an additional story to 41 feet. Jimmy McCoot cut, trimmed, and fit every log into place without the help of machines, horses, or friends. He finished building his dream in 1915 at the age of 60. There are varying legends that surround the castle and why he built it. The romantic version has it that Jimmy McCoot built his castle for the girl he loved, who agreed to marry him if he built her a proper house.
Build me a castle, she said, and make it 3 times over my head. Glass in the windows and paint on the doors, and then, my darling, then I will be yours.
McCoot claimed that as a child he was once scolded, "You'll never do no good, you'll die in a shack." He resolved later in life to avoid such a fate. Jimmy McCoot died as he lived, quietly and alone. He drowned while netting fish in the ice melt in the early spring of 1918. Several months later, forest rangers found his body and buried it beside the tower.
Now the castle stands in tribute, but it stands alone. The picket fence has fallen down, the weeds around have grown. But the man whose heart and hands became a legend to us all is still the king of White Otter Lake.
Traveling around shooting video has given me the opportunity to visit some great places and meet so many interesting people. My visit to Browns Clearwater West Lodge was no exception. What a great place and what great people. As my visit came to a close and we sat on the porch of Jimmy McCoot's dream enjoying a delicious whitefish shore lunch, I couldn't help but wonder what living here alone in this castle on this remote shore of White Otter Lake must have been like. What kind of man was Jimmy McCoot? What was going through his mind each day as he hoisted another log into place, and each night when he drifted off to sleep? I can only imagine the stories he could tell. I can only imagine how interesting he must have been. Yeah, I've met a lot of interesting people. Sure wish I could have met Jimmy McCoot.
Sit down and enjoy.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week right here on Discovering.